I'm just taking it all in right now. Good for them. I feel really proud of them, even though I've just started listening to them. I feel like that's really great news for them, and I'm just finding out.
Suburban drifters, professional thrifters, full-time Craigslisters, and yeah, my all-star hipsters, Michelle in the Moshpit house.
Oh my god.
You know, like his house.
And the his house,
stop.
But it's a mosh pit.
Exactly. So don't be offended that I called you all hipsters now, because in truth, and you cannot deny it, we have all had our hipster moments when we were like, fuck your digit download. You know I want that physical 7-inch wax B-side rare track and a Brooklyn boy or girl with a crew neck and fanny pack. We've all been there. Brianne has. Kelly has. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Am I right, ladies?
Never ashamed. Proud.
Never. I'm still annoyed that I don't have a physical copy of All Time Low's new album.
Exactly. See? Hipster. So hipster. What we're not going to tolerate around here. Hipsters we will, but what we won't tolerate around here is gatekeeping the scene. You will never be too hardcore to love on some neon pop punk, nor will you ever be too pop punk to rage out on some metalcore. And we're going to practice what we preach here on the Mosh Pit Pop Punk and More podcast. We're going to travel into the unknown today. The roads, or playlists, if you will, less traveled by. Because we are not dragons, sitting atop a hoard of musical gold. We are all about sharing the bands we love. So sit tight for a treat today. Because we have like a mega band spotlight of some bands that some of you may know, but others may not. So strap in, because this road I was talking about is not paved. It's a dirt road. Lots of rocks. And, you know, we're riding horses, you know, and they trot. It's a lot of up and down, up and down.
I can't.
That was really intense. I don't even get what happened in that second.
Me either. I'm just like, where did the fucking horses?
Was that from something?
No, that's from Michelle's weird fucking mind.
No, I was just writing.
Oh.
I was just in my brain.
It went western. It went real western. I don't know why.
That was from Michelle's weird mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wild, Wild West.
Yeah. Well, anyways, as always, before we get down and dirty, it's time for some music news.
First piece of music news, we're sharing some upcoming music, not yet released, but soon to be coming your way. Go Radio. Jason Lancaster has announced that he's got some new music coming. It's going to be called So Love, and it's coming to you on July 24th. We're super pumped.
Yes! Give me all of that Jason Lancaster honey smooth milk silk voice. Fucking love it. Jason,
good.
He was my favorite part of Mayday before he left.
Yeah, honestly, stopped listening to Mayday.
Michelle, I think you're just craving food because there's just too many like breakfast descriptors in there to like not actually be thinking of food.
Well, I did eat dinner already, so I don't know. It's just
maybe you want some the honey, the milk. I feel like that's a breakfast thing, so maybe you're just already looking forward to tomorrow.
Probably, but you know, I mean, it is a very good descriptor of Jason Lancaster's voice.
So amazing. Butter.
Yeah. I'm super stoked, and yeah, we'll be telling you guys about it.
Alrighty, an oldie but a goodie, and by oldie I mean they've just been rocking our faces for, you know, since we were children. Blink-182 is recording again. Holy shit. Their producer, John Feldman, said fans can get ready for some, quote, super classic Blink. So,
music to my ears.
that. Right?
Love it.
Especially because the last time I saw them in concert was the 20-year anniversary of Enema of the State. So I'm down for some original Blink.
Also upcoming, but also new, Hopeless signed indie rock band Tiger's Jaw. They released their first single with Hopeless called Warn Me. The first time they've released new music in 3 years. They've been around for a while, but I was never really into them, but can't go wrong with a Hopeless band. I'm excited.
Same here.
It's also just a cool name.
That's kind of one of the first things that always like kind of pulls me into a band. Like, oh, that's a dope ass name.
Well, speaking of super cool band names, or, you know, ones that are difficult to pronounce, Waster, or as me and Michelle call them, WSTR, and we'll probably continue to call them because it's just too
what I'm used to
for my small brain. Waster has released 2 quote-unquote reimagined songs from their first album, Screwed. Again, with the letters that are confusing me how to pronounce things, but yep, from their first album, Screwed. I took a listen, and I honestly had never listened to these songs before the reimagined version, since I found WSTR within the last few years, when they released Identity Crisis, I think it is when I found them and started to be a fan of theirs. I really liked, so there were 2 songs, Ain't Great and South Drive. I really liked Ain't Great. There's super cool electric guitar happening. And I just really wasn't a fan of South Drive.
So for me, I found WSTR. I'm gonna call them WSTR. That's what it's happening.
It's okay.
During their Red, Green, or In Between album era. So I wasn't really ever a big Screwed fan. Though I know there's like a big battle with lots of their fans because, you know, if you listen to Screwed, you're not a big fan of like their newer stuff. If you're a fan of their newer stuff, Screwed's maybe a little more intense for you. I mean, I like Screwed, but not whatever. I wasn't feeling South Drive because I really did love that song, particularly off the album originally. Though there really is something to say for like, you know, this electric sound that they've kind of got going in the reimagined one that I don't normally dig, but it's working for me. And then I think Ain't Great is so much better acoustically. But I don't know. I guess we've all been on an acoustic kick lately. Like last episode, we were talking about all those awesome acoustics that have been released. So I don't know. I mean, I dug it. I just want new music from them because right now they're definitely probably my top 5 fave bands.
Yeah, we need more.
And in true Brianne fashion, I've never listened to them. Anyways, I'm just gonna continue on. Speaking of more new music, Broadside released a song called Heavenly. I'm personally down with it. It was really good. The chorus is so goddamn catchy. It's like I don't know. I couldn't get it out of my head.
Yes, absolutely. Seriously though, like that chorus though, like those are fucking lyrics, not that bullshit we heard last episode with Forever and Ever times Infinity. This was a little bit deeper, more well thought out. I mean, the line, it's tantric, romantic, it's heaven to me. I loved that line personally. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Ollie Baxter on vocals. Like that one part in the second verse and pre-chorus where his singing's like almost on the verge of screaming, but he's still like really singing it. It's absolute fucking fire. And of all the new songs they've released off their upcoming album Raging Sea, I think this is my favorite so far musically. You know, it's got really these like ethereal sounds that they still keep in the background once the guitars hit. Yeah, and it's dope. And the first verse has like really super emo-y vibes from like early 2000s type style. It's just like a great mix of sounds that just work really well together, and I'm digging it.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. It's probably my favorite of the 3 singles, I guess, that they've released from their upcoming album. It's so good. Ollie's voice, the lyrics, it's all just right up my alley. So this one especially got me super excited for Into the Raging Sea.
Yes.
Speaking of Ollie, since you both mentioned him, he basically just says that it's a cute song. Quote, sonically, it's rooted in our old sound, the one that got us the place where we are today. It's a love song and an ode to our first single, Coffee Talk. Underneath the big picture, I try to paint
Yeah, Coffee Talk's my favorite.
Underneath the big picture, I try to paint into my lyrics. I'm still just such a romantic to the core.
Oh, what a little cutie!
I know. So yes, I love that they're taking a moment to like reflect on their career. You know.
Yeah, I totally dig it. I'm looking forward to the album and definitely hope, once we eventually get out of the freaking pandemic, to see it live. And definitely wait till after the pandemic to see it live. We do not want to go to shows during a pandemic like there was in Tennessee.
Like some stupid people.
Oh my god.
This is why we don't listen to country. Friggin' Chase Rice, don't know who the fuck he is, but I felt it was necessary to address this. I think it was a week or two ago. They had a full crowd, no masks, no social distancing, and it was just cool with him. He addressed it on his Instagram, and he's still going to be having shows, even though we're not really ready for any shows yet. But he said the next one's going to be a drive-in show, which, cool, fine, yeah, you should have done that the first time, because now it's probably spreading all over Tennessee. And he goes like, I know there are a lot of differing opinions on how COVID-19, how it works with live music and crowds. There's no really differing opinions. It's a virus that if you're in crowds without any masks, any distancing, it's gonna spread. There's no differing opinions. It's what happens. And, he had no apology for it. And, as I just want to say that this is, like, ridiculous. Because, the more this plays out, the less the rest of us who are playing by the rules are going to be able to enjoy going to a concert. Or the longer it's going to take for us to be able to go enjoy it. And it infuriates me. Because I want to go see my bands. I want to go see all that and party and mosh. But I can't because these idiots.
I would also like to point out that I think this is my favorite thing with this whole thing. Another singer-songwriter, Kelsey Ballerini, tweeted, imagine being selfish enough to put thousands of people's health at risk, not to mention potential ripple effect, and play a normal country concert right now. We all, then she added, Chase, we all want, parentheses, and need to tour. We just care about our fans and families enough to wait.
Yes, oh. Tell him, girl.
Boom, roasted.
Yes.
Again, this is why I don't listen to country.
Yeah.
The only reason.
I listen to some country, but nothing new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lying. I definitely have listened to country, and I definitely have enjoyed some country.
I was about to say, I'm like, you were definitely listened to it at some kind of sorority party at some point over the years.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to school in New England. Everybody was listening to country.
Accurate. Except for the three of us in our little bubble.
Yeah, our little pop punk bubble.
Talking more about bubbles and how concerts may look in the future, there have been some people saying an option for future concerts. Obviously, this didn't happen at the Chase Rice concert, but concert goers may need to do things like walk through disinfectant mists when they come back, and that's just that's super weird to think about.
Yeah, I don't know how I would handle that, because, like, I don't want to inhale, like, disinfectant, because I feel like if you're walking through the mist, you're gonna inhale that.
Well, also think about this, just, like, in a show, you get hot, and, like, I always feel like as I get hot and dehydrated, I end up licking my lips. Your lips are gonna be covered. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be covered in that, like, chemical shit, so you're just gonna be like, yeah.
Yeah, I would rather just wear a mask.
Or go to a Chase Rice concert where no one has any masks on, or, like...
I choose C, none of the above.
Yeah, I'm not going to go until it's safe.
I choose my Zoom ones for now.
Yeah, I'll stick with the live stream concerts. Or if I do deem it okay, I'm gonna wear a mask. I'd rather that over to the disinfectant mist. I don't know, I can't.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll also sit in the balcony with a beer by myself, like with a straw under my mask. Like,
I let myself get bit up in the summer by mosquitoes because I hate like bug spray, because like bleh. And so I can't imagine like disinfectant mist like on my person. at a show.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, speaking of going to shows in person, but unfortunately not this year, Sad Summerfest, which, well, 2 of the 3 of us, I wasn't going to be able to go this year, but it has been rescheduled from 2020 to 2021.
Yay!
Yay! The dates begin July 9th, 2021. That's so far away.
So far.
So far away.
Literally 1 year.
I know. So it starts in Orlando, and then it continues throughout the country and ends August 7th in Anaheim, California. Obviously, stopping throughout the country on the way, but yeah. So check out the Sad Summerfest website for new dates and for tickets and all that fun stuff. Hopefully, 3 of us are going to
see you there.
Do a show together. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all there.
May go to Philly. I'm definitely going to Jersey, so let's hang out. Let's mosh. But yeah, no, I'm glad it got rescheduled because I was definitely looking forward to seeing All Time Low play Wake Up Sunshine since, they're the headliners. And speaking of All Time Low, breaking news, as of 6:16 p.m. today, the day of recording, Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, All Time Low is looking to rename the Hustler Club. Dun dun dun! Yeah, so they're having a contest to help rename it. They're looking for something timeless and evergreen. You can email suggestions, and they're gonna pick their top 5, and then we're gonna do like an email vote. It's a group effort because we're a family. It's a community. It's not just gonna be them.
Yeah, the one thing that they said is that because they said that they don't feel like hustlers anymore, that they don't want to be named after an old porn magazine, because that's what Hustler is. But they also said that since they're the ones taking away the name, they want to make sure that their fans are the ones who get to pick the next name. And the reason why they said evergreen was because they're like, we don't want to become like the Young Renegades or like the Sunshine Club, because they want something that will last throughout, and that way newer fans that are starting with like Wake Up Sunshine, and then older fans who started with everything way back when will still identify as that kind of a fan. So.
Well, yeah, totally. I mean, I get that completely, because, I mean, Hustler came from The Girls Are Straight Up Hustler, that song, but so many fans probably at this point don't know that song.
Idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, what was it? It was like, what was the name of the tour that they were on with Dashboard on a couple summers ago?
Oh, God.
And where it was like when Birthday and Everything's Fine was released. It was that tour. I went, and it was like an outside venue here in Jersey, and I remember there were songs off of Nothing Personal.
The Summer Ever After tour.
Summer Ever After tour. There were songs that these kids didn't know. Like, I was like moshing with like, younger kids. And what song was it? I want to say it was like Damned If I Do Ya or something like that. They played, I'm pretty sure it was Damned If I Do You. I was the only one in the mosh pit singing. I was the only one. They're like, so I legitimately heard kids go like, what song is this? And I'm like, ah! I was dying. But, I mean, they're, at this point, they've spanned so many age groups, I guess, that, they definitely need something a little bit more evergreen. Because I saw new fans, like, saying, we, like, on Twitter and stuff, being like, we should be the Sunshiners. And I'm like, no.
No.
Don't like that.
Can't picture calling myself that.
No kidding.
I wish Neck Deep didn't have a song called Low Life, because Low Lives would be a pretty cool name, I feel like. That was my first idea. We'll have to come up with some more ideas to email.
We'll definitely email them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on All Time Low, because we can't get enough. All Time Low also added a new rosé to their line of wines, so you can now order the Summer Days
pre-order,
rosé, pre-order or order eventually if you're willing to pay $9,500 in shipping. Then you can get it. We'll try it eventually. Just gotta save up.
I told Slayton this is what I want for my anniversary present from him.
Ooh,
it's a good anniversary present.
Right? Well, because since his birthday and our anniversary are literally a week apart, I was like, I'm buying you a gas grill. That's for both. So, So I'm like, all I want is 2 bottles of the rosé. That's it.
All right, so that's all we've got for music news, and I'm really excited before we get into, the bulk of our episode with our mega band spotlight. We have a very exciting segment. Brianne doesn't know. Brianne doesn't know. Brianne doesn't know. We all know Brie is the worst at knowing bands past 2010. So we're going to expose this poser, not in a negative way, but expose her to all the good music she is missing out on.
For each episode of Brianne Doesn't Know, we'll be telling Brie which song she should listen to, and she'll record her live reactions and opinions to her first time hearing some of our favorite bands.
So, for the inaugural episode of Brianne Doesn't Know, which we've basically been teasing since episode 1, Kelly and I gave Brianne the assignment to listen to Neck Deep because, as we all know, Neck Deep's coming out with a new album. So next episode is going to be All Intentions Are Distortion.
No.
Wait. No. I still fucked it up. All distortions are intentional. Okay, I got it. I got it that time. All the distortions are intentional day. We're going to be doing a track-by-track review. And, if Brianne doesn't know the band beforehand, it doesn't really work out that well. So, me and Kelly gave her songs. I gave her Gold Steps off of Life's Not Out to Get You, because that song means a lot to me, and I feel like Life's Not Out to Get You is kind of like the core of who Neck Deep is, and so that was a good album to pick a song off of.
I chose She's a God because it's just a jam, and also because I couldn't choose Gold Steps because Michelle already chose it. So yeah, I chose She's a God. It's one of their more recent releases, aside from like what's already going to be on All Distortions Are Intentional. So wanted to show Brie like the slightly newer side of Neck Deep too.
And originally we were only going to give her 2 songs, but we gave her the bonus of 1970 something, because that's off of Peace and the Panic, so it's in between like She's a God, which is kind of a transition to All Distortions Are Intentional and Life's Not Out to Get You. And, it's a song that makes me cry every single time I listen to it. So I think it's a great song to, like, listen to, especially for us. We like stories and, yeah. So if you do want to check out the full episode of Brianne Doesn't Know, you can go to our YouTube. You can search the Moshpit podcast. It should show up. We do not have enough subscribers to have a vanity URL yet, so go subscribe. That way you can watch all of Brianne Doesn't Know segments that will be coming in the following weeks and months. I just want to start... So as we're going to get into this, I just want to start off by saying, Brianne, despite being a grandma, you absolutely nailed the whole YouTube video aesthetic. You guys need to go watch it because it's hilarious. Brianne's reactions are the best.
I would like to say, 1, just because I'm a grandma doesn't mean I don't know things. I edit videos for a living, so I had a lot of fun with this. And 2, my boyfriend and I watch a fuck ton of YouTube. Like, that's literally half the time we're not even watching actual TV. We're watching just random internet videos. So I think by now I've learned it.
Yeah, I was just kidding. So as we said, Gold Steps was the first song. Brianne, how'd you feel about it?
So I didn't dislike it, but it was my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah.
So literally from the first chorus through the second half of the song, I really liked it. Just that whole aggressive, offbeat singing and the, whatever, like it's so fast at the beginning, you can't really tell where the beat is. It's not my thing. And I did really like the song other than that. Like, once we got past that, it was just so distracting because I was trying to... It's hard to listen one shot through the words and the music itself. So, the added, da-da-da-da-da, like, also kind of, like, made it that much harder. So, that's kind of my reasoning behind it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean... it's a good thing we didn't give you anything off of like their real early albums, Wishful Thinking or Rain in July, because those are definitely even more punky and have a lot more of those intense beats and guitar riffs and everything. But in the video, you said, you thought it was like that intense stuff was well balanced with like, the slower parts of the song. And I agree. That's one of the reasons I love that song. The pacing is fantastic. And I loved your reactions to like Ben's scream, and your scene hair, first of all, is everything. It's fantastic.
Do you know what's really funny? Is that I actually cut this from the video, but there is a part where I'm just going on. You'll see throughout the video, I'm playing with my hair, and it's not like a nervous tick or anything. It's because I normally have a pixie cut, but I haven't gotten my hair cut in 6 months because of Corona. So my hair is now long enough where part of it can tuck behind my ear, but the other part can't. So it literally looks like my high school, scene hair where you did like put it across your face. But the problem is that the back of my pixie has now grown into like a Karen haircut.
Oh no!
So like, I'm not only a scene grandma, I'm like a scene Karen, and I fucking
Oh
hate
god!
it.
No.
Oh god.
I would like to say only in looks am I a scene Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just want to say that your air drums were just everything. It looked like you were just playing the drums for real.
Oh yeah, totally.
really
Even though they were like at my shoulder height, like.
There shouldn't be rules on where you have to set the drums up. As long as you hit them, I feel like it's fine.
Exactly. Air drums aren't real. You don't need to like actually hit the beat.
Nah.
Because that would be me drumming.
1970-something was the next song that Brie listened to, and like Michelle was saying earlier, the song makes her cry, also makes me cry, but I mean, I cry at everything, so it doesn't say too much, but I mean, storytelling at its best.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that narrative's just, it like slices through you. And Brianne, like, I definitely think you need to listen to it again, because,
Because you got confused.
I did!
As someone who loves lyrics, like we talk about all the time, you really need to get that aspect of it, which I feel like you missed the first time around. Because like you said, it definitely is hard in one go to listen to both the music and the lyrics when you've never heard it before.
Exactly. Like, the first part, I was, like, mostly paying... Like, the first verse, I was mostly paying attention to the words. I was like, okay, love song, got it. Let's listen to the music. And then all of a sudden, there's just, like, this fucking 180, and it's like, the heart attack. I'm like, what? And then it just starts talking about, like, the ambulance, and I'm just like, what did I miss? What just happened? I mean... I loved the song. I think it was more shock and awe that I could have been emotional, because I was just like, what? They just paid off mortgage? What? Like,
what is happening?
Yeah, it was very weird and very confusing, but I did really, really like the song. I agree. I need to go back and appreciate the words, because did not come through.
I feel like for Gold Steps too, I feel like when you listen to Gold Steps a second time and listen to the words, I think you'll like Gold Steps more too.
Agreed.
I think you'll probably like all of them.
Probably, yeah.
The last song that Brie listened to is She's a God, and that was my song suggestion, and probably my favorite part of this entire reaction video is Brianne's face. I can't even, not laugh. Brianne's face when the lyric hits. She begins curling up to me in her underwear. Her eyes just, got some side eye, and she got real wide. I can't. It was perfect.
Well, because, again... You only catch certain words when you're trying to listen to both.
I know.
So all I heard was something, her underwear, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
All right, okay.
Which in all honesty, if I didn't cut out every all right and okay in that video, it would be the full 20 minutes. Like, I need to expand my vocabulary. I'm not just like, ooh, okay.
Well, that was what, particularly for this song, like, you were just like, ooh, okay.
I
just
cut out a bunch of those too.
I loved it though. No, but my favorite ooh reaction was ooh birds.
Well, because I was doing this, full disclosure, I woke up this morning early so that way I could get the best light in my apartment, because the light for shooting hasn't shown up yet. So I was shooting this morning at like, I don't know, 7:15 through like 7:45. So I couldn't, for a hot second, I couldn't tell if it was like the music or if there were like birds outside my window for the first time that weren't like ducks or geese fighting. It was nice to hear happy birds.
So, quick overview of She's a God.
Okay, so definitely my favorite of the three because I feel like, I mean, to be fair, I liked all of the songs. There was not a bad song you guys gave me. I'm just talking about in comparison to each other. I liked the fact that this was a happy marriage between the first two. Like, the first one was, like, way more punky. The second one was way more poppy and, like, almost like a beachy vibe. And then this one was, like, a perfect crossover between the two.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely, at the end of it all, you definitely looked happy overall. You were, like, cupping your coffee cup, like a cute little scene, Grandma. And you said that, because it was literally my thought. And then you're like, yeah, this is, like, totally, like, my scene Grandma aesthetic. Or whatever it was you said. But you just looked, content. And, I'm happy you're digging it, because Neck Deep has become one of my favorite bands. And I love to share my music with my friends. And, I can't wait to hear, your thoughts on our track by track of Neck Deep's new album. Because, me and Kelly have a little bit more experience with Neck Deep. So we're going to have, like, kind of that coloring, I think, our experience with the new album, while you won't.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And I would like to say that my coffee, or my cup this time was coffee. But in my head, all I could picture was, like, a little old grandma with her tea and, whatever. But then also
You just needed, like, a crochet blanket.
Oh, no, literally, I'm like, I dropped the goddamn ball because I have my fucking quilts made of my concert t-shirts. So now I'm going to have to start using that when I do these videos. So keep an eye out for that.
I think you did awesome. I actually really agree with like, your overall take on it. I personally love Gold Steps. It's probably one of my favorites, which I'm actually, like, very similar to you in the fact that I don't normally like songs that are as punky as that, but something about it, I just, like, love that entire album. I could listen to Life's Not Out to Get You, like, cover to cover for, like, hours on end. So I don't know what it is about them in that album, but I just love it, even though it's not something I would normally be into. But overall, I think you had some pretty good takes and some pretty awesome reactions.
Agreed. So, again, watch out for Brianne Doesn't Know on YouTube under the Moshpit podcast. There's going to be more coming at you. And just like Neck Deep was new music to Brianne, these band spotlights that we're about to do are going to be maybe new music to you. So, as I alluded to at the top of the show in the scene, there are definitely hipsters that are proud to know bands before other people. As Patent Pending once said, and everyone's excited about this band that's blowing up, and all you want to talk about is how you knew them growing up. Like, yeah, they used to play in my basement or whatever, but they totally sold out, whatever.
I would just like to point out that you sounded like you were about to make some, like, really profound proclamation, like something like Benjamin Franklin was said. Like,
no, just Patent Pending.
Okay, just making sure.
Like in New York Minute when they do, like, the great Avril Lavigne.
Yes!
Like,
yeah.
why do you have to go and make things so complicated?
Oh, my
absolutely. God. Yes. So yeah, we like to know bands before other people, but we aren't all assholes about it. Because we've all felt that excitement about discovering this small band that, it's kind of like yours. It's intimate. And, it happens more often than not for us in the pop punk, emo, alternative scene, since mainstream has basically ostracized rock for years. I mean, when was the last time you heard a Fall Out Boy type on the radio? Yeah, not since Fall Out Boy. But you know what? Let us not despair, pop punkers. For as long as we, the pop punk advocates, survive and speak the word of the scene, it shall thrive. So let's make it thrive. We're going to talk, some quote-unquote obscure bands.
Were you trying to channel your inner Winston Churchill there for a second?
No, I think I just watched Hamilton, and they're very like.
Oh, there
it
it
does
is.
very much sound like that. Okay. It makes
Yeah.
more sense now. It all makes
I was
sense.
I was channeling
Alright.
the founding fathers. That's what was happening.
Got it. Okay, so I wasn't far off with Benjamin Franklin, just wrong
Yeah.
founding father. Got
There
it.
you
Yeah.
go. So this conversation came up for us when I found this online tool called Obscurify, and it basically tells you how obscure your listening is compared to other Spotify users. So we all tried it and had it analyze our Spotify listening patterns. It shows you your obscurity rating, your top genres, and artists. So if you want to see how your results compare to what we share with you today, you can go to obscurifymusic.com and give it a try as well. So when I took this obscurity rating, my listening patterns were more obscure than 84% of Spotify users.
Ooh.
And I know, I actually wasn't sure what I was expecting. I guess I thought it would be like a little bit less obscure, but my top genres were like basically just varieties of pop punk. So it was like pop punk and neon pop punk, obviously, because I love it, were my top two. And my top artists were pretty much all pop punk. All Time Low is my top band, followed by Bones, aka Alex DeLeon, and my only like out of the genre, I guess, artist in my top was the Backstreet Boys, obviously.
Obviously, because
Obviously.
she's the biggest Backstreet Boys fan.
Number one.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I thought this was like, I didn't expect the result that I got, because I mean, yeah, I know I don't listen to what everybody else does, but I didn't consider it like obscure, because there's a lot of people that listen to the bands that I do. So when I got that I was more obscure than 94% of Spotify users, I was shocked. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know. I mean, what was surprising though was that All Time Low was my number 2. And my number 1, as much as I talked shit last episode, was New Found Glory. It's because I think New Found Glory, they've been around for so long, and I've listened to so many of their albums on repeat very often, particularly Radio Surgery is a favorite of mine. And obviously like Sticks and Stones and everything. But the variation in my genres was not very varied. Pop punk, anthem emo, neon pop punk, emo, modern rock, pop emo, pixie, alternative emo, easycore, pop rock. I think it's all the same.
I'm seeing a theme here.
There's a pattern.
Okay. So this is where we go off the beaten path. I'm gonna preface this with the fact that we've discussed about the fact that I don't actually usually use Spotify. I usually use Amazon Prime Music just because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for things, and I couldn't figure out how to listen to Spotify's individual songs without whatever. I recently finally bit the bullet and got Spotify Premium, so I can now listen to things. I got an ad in my email being like 3 months free, and then it goes back to the normal price. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'll do it for the summer. So I started listening to stuff. I will admit I listened to Spotify beforehand, but it was because one of my favorite fitness podcasts had a good workout playlist on there. So this is heavily influenced by I only had up until about 3 weeks ago, I'd only listened to that playlist on Spotify. I will also say that I did this when we first started talking about this a while ago, and at that point my obscurity percentage was 39%, and since then, ironically enough, it's dropped to 37%. I don't understand how, because I've literally only been listening to shit that you guys have told me to listen to. So I don't get it, but so my number 1 makes me angry, and I did some researching. So in the actual website, you can sort all time, like right now or like recent or whatever. So, and they can also tell you your top songs you streamed. I must have fallen asleep or something with it on, because somehow there's like 7 Justin Bieber songs in there that I've literally never heard before, and I don't understand how they're in my top, like, streamed, which is how Justin Bieber is number 1 in mine, and I'm so angry about that.
Gross.
I know. So then, number 2, all-time low, obviously. Newfound Glory was my number 3, and number 4, which this one I'm happy about because I do love him, is Michael Bublé. I also realized that I listened
you want to talk about honey milk voice?
Oh. It's like velvet.
Yes.
But I had some sleepers on there because Earth, Wind, and Fire was my number 6, and Hanson was number 7.
Oh, don't knock that.
Yeah. It wasn't even because of Mbop. It was because of their Christmas album, Snowed In, is straight fire. Like, best Christmas album you'll ever hear.
Oh, I'll have to
It's
add it to
tradition
my
of my family.
Christmas repertoire.
Yes.
And I can never listen to Mbop again.
Oh, God, I know. A quick story. A group at our college was raising money for Relay for Life, I believe. And so in the main student congregation area, they literally put Mbop on repeat for like a week straight, and you had to pay for them to change the song or to get silence. So they raised a shit ton of money.
It was...
Oh, wait, Kel, was that before you got there?
I think so. I don't remember that.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Or I blacked it out.
I had Mbop stuck into my head for months.
Oh, yeah.
I kid you not. It was the worst.
Anywho. Let's put that PTSD to bed. But
I'm singing it in my head.
my top genres were not ironically, but it makes most sense. But the terms that they use for genres are hysterical. Okay, so pop was 1, then dance pop, post-teen pop. What the fuck does that mean?
Hanson.
EDM, and then finally pop punk, and then tropical house.
Tropical house. Ooh.
I don't know.
That sounds fun.
Pop rap, electro pop, emo, and UK pop. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Tropical house. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, the fuck does that? I don't even know where that came from or how it came to be, but whatever. So, obviously my ridiculous stats got all of us talking about what is actually considered obscure. Clearly I don't listen to obscure things, but the tool actually doesn't tell you what their, qualifications are or for what, is considered obscure or not. So we decided to say fuck it and we make our own, we did create a whole ranking system for songs, so why not create a ranking system for what's obscure? So we decided that a band with under 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify is what we were going to consider obscure. Michelle got really technical and started to theorize how many people could fit in a smaller venue and how many nights it would take to listen to that many songs, and I just kind of tuned her out.
It basically means that, like, 200,000 people, while sounds like a lot, is not. So that's obscure.
Okay. Thank you for simplifying it, because
in layman's terms.
Yes, it saved me a lot of time and confusion. So we're going to talk about, I think, six bands, right?
Yes,
Yeah, six
bands.
different bands that we like.
Mega Band Spotlight.
Yes, Mega Band Spotlight. But it'll be an abbreviated version. We're not going to go super in-depth, but just a quick little overview of 6 different bands, so that way y'all can get to know some cool bands that you might never have heard of before.
So our first obscure band that we want to share with you is called The Stolen. And they are, I think, our most obscure band that we're going to be sharing with you today. They have 17,000 monthly listeners. They're a band that's a little bit more on the alt-rock side of the genre. And they were actually named Artist to Watch by Alt Press in 2019. So the band's from Old Bridge, New Jersey. Shout out Michelle.
Woo woo! Jersey! We got the best music scene in the States.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
So I was the one that found this band, but I honestly can't remember where I found them, but I had one of their songs called Overboard in my liked songs on Spotify, and I like play it on repeat a lot. Like once I hear it once, I just want to listen to it over and over again. And I think their sound is just super cool. They're so catchy, but they're not cookie cutter. Like there's just something super unique about them. So I wanted to share them with you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. Like, it's a little less alt rock than I anticipated. They've got like a mainstream pop vibe. Like, their one song, Rooftop, it kind of gave me that vibe. Like, it could definitely be on radio, in my opinion, for sure. And I don't say that in a bad way, because, you know, like, it's, like you said, it's unique, and it's not like this all the same bullshit you hear on the radio. I fucking loved Overboard, the one that you sent us. It was just very, like, loved it. It was just chill. It gave me, like, major, like, 80s vibes with, like, almost tropical kind of mood. And, yeah. And it reminded me of St. Elmo's Fire, actually. And I love that song. The vocals were great. He's got, like, this really, like, whispery voice, but it's got real power when he wants.
It's, like, gentle power.
Yes.
That's, like, yeah.
That's a good description.
I will say that I agree with, like, the 80s vibe. Literally, the opening of Overboard, all I could hear in my head was, like, a Phil Collins song, which is not a bad thing. I love Phil Collins, but it was
Phil Collins is great. He's fantastic.
Fuck yeah. But that's all I could hear in my head, and I, like, couldn't shake it. There's no other, like, words coming to my brain at this point.
So, The Stolen, give them a listen. They're on Spotify. I think fantastic band to kick it off with. I talked about their vocals, but the vocalist that really gets me is Meet Me at the Altar. They've got about 41,000 plus monthly listens on Spotify. They're a 3-piece, high-energy pop punk, all-female band. And just want to say they describe themselves as bouncy pop punk, which I think is a new genre for us. Because I love that description.
Genres don't exist.
Yeah, and, you know, I think we can relate hard to them because they're collaborating as a band from 3 different East Coast states: Georgia, Florida, and New Jersey. Yes.
Hey!
And we're Massachusetts, Florida, and New Jersey. They they legitimately met and started collaborating via YouTube. It's insane.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I really love them. Their vocals. She is fantastic. Her voice reminds me of Marissa Datoli from Crystalline, you know, like the song Punks Don't Dance. I don't know the tune.
That's who I was thinking of. Damn, I put the wrong band in my reference, but
yeah. Right? And I have been obsessed with them lately. Actually, our guest, Crystal McRae from Sands from the Underground, she put her on our playlist that she did for you guys, our listeners. And I was like, hey, I know this band, because I had heard them on a previous, like, pop punk playlist, Beyond My Control, which is off of Bigger Than Me, their recent EP, and that song is phenomenal. Like, the chorus is a fucking jam, and I can never stop myself from bopping along to it, you know. And I don't know, I'm obsessed with it. Like, the lyrics, like, slice right through you, and it's just I love it.
I'm also a big fan of theirs. Their guitar riffs are just hot fire flames. They're just so good. And I was very, very happy to hear another female lead singer that is just, like, awesome. Like, every female lead singer that I've heard in the last couple of bands have actually been so good, which makes me really excited. Meet Me at the Altar, and then I just recently started getting into Stand Atlantic. So I just love having more female vocalists.
I completely agree. I mean, not even just female vocalists, but female bands. Because, like, you know, we've talked about needing more women to represent in the scene, and their song Garden, it's like, that song is, like, why we need it, because it's, like, lyrics like, chase down that crown, you don't deserve to feel so down. And when I heard that song, I was like, yes, women empowering women, chase that motherfucking crown. And you know, it was honestly one of those like really glass shattering moments for me, because it was, I think, the first time I realized that we don't really get enough of these kinds of songs in the scene. Like, sure, relationship songs, you know, they really get you in those feels. But, I don't know, my friendships are just as, if not more important to me than any romantic relationship. And, you know, it was a very real and raw song for me. Like, you know, the lyrics, I'll never forget when you came to my doorstep with tears on your shirt. Yeah, I swear I'll do anything for you because it hurts to see you hurt. Like, I would kill for Kelly and Brianne and, you know, all my friends, and seeing them hurt kills me. And like, that song captured that feeling for me. And that's why I think, like, you know, like we talked about previously, like, representation in the scene is super important.
Yeah, a dude could never really say that in a song.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't.
When I was originally listening to them, I didn't realize, I didn't read any of the notes we had about them. I was just trying to, you know, appreciate them for the music. And I agree with everything you guys said. Their sound's awesome. Like, I love the fact that it's a female-fronted band. I did not realize that until Michelle just said it, that it was a 3-part, you know, like 3 women who were in this band. And it's just so freaking awesome, because not even necessarily in our genre, but in like music in general, it's really hard to find an actual band, like playing instruments bands, not just like a lead, not just a vocalist that is all women. So I'm here for them, and I'm gonna definitely listen to them more often.
We stan.
Meet me at the altar. And agree that friends are more important than men.
Yes.
Oh, well, make sure you guys listen to them on Spotify, too. We're not going to be able to support them just with the 3 of us listening to them. But on to our next band. We Were Sharks. Always a fun name. They have about 80,000 plus-ish monthly listeners. Obviously, we fell in love with them because they're from Canada. And who doesn't love Canadians? They're so nice.
Except Justin Bieber. Fuck Justin Bieber.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I know you were listening. He was on your Spotify, but like, I was gagging as you said he was your number 1. I don't know if anybody heard that.
I don't want him to be my number 1 either. I mean, I don't like him as a person, but I'm not gonna lie, he has a song or 2.
Yeah, I remember. I don't even remember what year it was. It was like probably right after we graduated. He came out with some really good songs, and I didn't realize it was him, and I was like loving it. And then I found out it was him, and I hated everything.
Anyways, back to the more important Canadians in this show. We Were Sharks.
Yeah!
They've been together since 2011. They were signed to a North Carolina record label, Revival Recordings, in 2019, with new music expected this year. Their description on their website says they're based out of Ottawa and collecting members from the far reaches of Eastern Canada. We Were Sharks continue to wield the full force of the Canadian alternative music.
What a great description.
Through a penchant for blend, I definitely almost said belching because I saw the C in melodic. Through a penchant for blending melodic harmony with powerful dissonance, they continue to produce infectious music. Even though these boys already have a lot of mileage under their belts, their book is far from written. I dig that. I'm here for that
Very
little description.
descriptive.
Yeah, I love that description. It's so like powerful. It's like, it definitely makes me want to listen to them.
Right? So they had 2 albums out, Not a Chance in 2015 and Lost Touch in 2018. They just released an acoustic of How You Lose Your Cool from Not a Chance, which they will be releasing a deluxe version of the album soon. I really liked them. One of their songs, Say It Like You Mean It, has a backup vocal leading to each of the choruses. It's literally just them going, I'm so tired, and it spoke to me on a spiritual level. Also, you gotta love a good na 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 in the song. So always. So I really like them. They're good. They're good jam.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to your na 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 point, there was actually somebody in one of my pop punk groups that was like, does anybody have like a playlist with like songs that have na na nas and whoa?
Can I have that playlist?
Someone had the playlist.
That's amazing.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. They're a great band. And they're they're kind of a good band to like channel rage. Their music like really hits and it's powerful. I first heard Bridge Burner by them, and yeah, they're really good also lyrically. Like you said, Say It Like You Mean It is a good song about bouncing back and proving the haters wrong. Yeah, I love them. I will continue to listen to them, and you should too.
I also had originally heard Bridge Burner of theirs first, and I feel like this happens to me a lot, but I had heard the song but didn't know what band sang it. Which yeah, happens to me a lot, but I definitely really like that song, and when I started to listen to some of their other music, I definitely really enjoyed it. I feel like they've got kind of that like classic pop punk vocal and lyrics, which I always like really appreciate. It kind of I feel like has like a classic pop punk vibe to it.
Oh, I definitely agree. And like they've also got like a little emo side too, like off of Say It Like You Mean It. The bridge is super powerful. It's like very Derek Sanders, a la Mayday Parade, holding those notes onto those notes like a fucking champ. And Mayday Parade, they're more emo than pop punk, so it's definitely they've got those vibes. But you know what? Like we always say, genres aren't real.
So definitely go check out We Were Sharks and give them a listen. The next band we wanted to share with you is called Yours Truly, and they so we're starting to get into slightly more popular but also obscure bands. Yours Truly has got a little under 150,000 monthly listeners, and they are another female-fronted band. Love to see it. And they're from Sydney, Australia, and have been active since about 2016.
A lot of Australian bands like really coming through in this scene.
For real. A little bit about them from their bio. Few bands can claim to have the worldwide touring chops Yours Truly do this early in their career. After the release of their critically acclaimed EP Afterglow. What does critically acclaimed actually mean? Like they got like good reviews?
They got good reviews
from critics?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds super good that sounds great. Critically acclaimed. I'm just taking it all in right now. Good for them. I feel really proud of them, even though I've just started listening to them.
And this is Kelly, why we love you. You're so wholesome.
I feel like that's really great news for them. I'm just finding out.
Oh my god, Kelly, I love you so much. You're so innocent.
Oh, you're so cute.
Anyway. All right. So,
I don't think you need to read any more about them.
I don't think so either.
That says it all. They're critically acclaimed.
All right. And Yours Truly is actually putting out some new music as well. They released a song in April, and they actually released a new song this week as well called Together.
Can I just say really quick, as you said that, when you said Yours Truly just released, I forgot we were talking about Yours Truly, and I was like, why are you talking about yourself like this?
I've just been released onto society. She's like, it's like her coming out like debutante ball or something.
I'm also critically acclaimed.
You are.
Oh, Kelly, I love you.
Anyway, so I really liked them. Today was, I believe, my first time ever listening to Yours Truly, and I am just wondering where they've been hiding because I thought they were really great.
Australia.
Oh yeah, I guess they've been hiding in Australia, halfway or all the way around the world from us. But as I was listening to them for the first time today, I threw their music on in the background. I was cooking dinner, and I just like found myself bopping along and dancing subconsciously and didn't realize it. So I think that means that I like them.
I think so too.
I thought the lead singer's vocals are awesome. She reminds me of someone, and I can't place where. Maybe this is the one I thought sounded like Hey Monday versus the other one.
Really? Because for me, she gave me more like early Paramore vibes, like off of like All We Know Is Falling.
Maybe that's it.
This is very strong vocals.
Yeah, very strong vocals.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe you're right. I don't know. The entire time I was just like,
yeah, for me it was either like very early Haley or like Flyleaf.
oh, maybe that's, I don't know. The
Yeah.
entire time, all I could think of was, like, who the hell does she sound like? But either way, she sounds amazing. I'm also, like, just super fucking impressed that they're all, like, around the age of 21.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy, dude.
They're babies. I
Yeah.
mean, to us, they're babies. But yeah, wait, are they gonna be in, I see that they've been to Sad Summer Fest. I'm guessing not this year.
I
Or
think they were
2021.
last year.
Damn it.
Or they might be this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh no, they're this year!
What?
They're this year. They're this
Oh.
year.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah!
Like, are
I
you
just got so
okay?
excited.
I just thought
No, I
like
thought your
crushed
lights
my
went out again.
headphones.
yeah, I thought so too.
No, I smashed my headphones for a second.
That excited.
No, I got really excited. Yes, they're so good, and you know, I was excited to see them, and now that I can actually go to this concert, I'm even more excited.
Yeah. Cool.
Good.
So for our listeners, to kind of prepare ourselves for this, we kind of listened to like, you know, some like we were all picking songs and stuff, but like we picked like some of the top 3. So for yours truly, and we'll have a playlist for you guys, we had High Hopes, Afterglow, and Together. And again, Michaela's vocals are fantastic. And you know who else I thought she sounded like? She kind of, off of like on Together, she gave me some like Demi Lovato vibes a little bit.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. And you know, we're comparing her voice to a lot of like female artists, but again, it kind of goes back to like the fact that we don't really have other reference points. You know, because I think a lot of people say like, oh, she's just trying to be Haley, like really disparagingly, and I think that's bullshit because she does have her own unique sound. It's just that's the only point of comparison we have. And you know, she did like what Bonnie of Stand Atlantic did in Jurassic Park that we talked about last episode. The you know, the singing to the talking in the You Can't Shape Me, and she really put that emphasis with like the little butt from the guitar in High Hopes. And you know, guys, I really have to say, I think that little like musical gimmick or whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna say it turns me on. I love it.
We're learning so much about you tonight.
I'll say, we'll pass the notes on to your boyfriend.
Yeah, no, I think they're fantastic. I mean, you know, I think they have a great range, and you know, they're one of those bands that are just pushing the limits of what pop punk means, not just musically, but thematically. They're a good band, and as we've said about every other band, go listen to them on Spotify. They don't need the listens, but you should listen to them. So following them, Story Untold, which has a little over 154,000 monthly listens on Spotify. They are also Canadian.
Woo, Canadian!
Wow, we're getting international this
So
episode.
much international. So far, only, what is it? Meet Me at the Altar is from
America?
America?
The Stolen.
America.
Oh, the
Too.
Stolen.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
they're Jersey too, yeah. But yeah, Story Untold, they're from Montreal. They were on Hopeless, but they actually left Hopeless in December. And, you know, one thing that I picked up from their bio was that their music blurs the line between different genres, including rock, pop, and alternative. And as we always say, you know, genres aren't real. Blend them all. One super genre. Fuck it. Right?
Right.
Huzzah!
Yes, huzzah. And you know, they're trying to, I think, move away a little bit from the pop punk and go a little bit more towards like some rock alternative, like, you know, kind of Bring Me the Horizon, Don Bracco, Paris. And they released a single last year, 2019, called Mental Breakdown, that really showcases that vibe that they're going for. It's very different from anything we've heard. Because, I mean, like, some of their most popular songs, some of the songs that I love, like History, Drown in My Mind, In or Out, very emo-y, angsty, like, I don't even think they're really that pop punk. To me, they were more emo. Like, they honestly remind me of, like, the 2000 bands that were, like, on the verge of pop punk, but were really just rock bands, kind of like Three Doors Down and Hoobastank. Like, tell me that, like, History and Drown in My Mind don't sound like if Hoobastank was, like, emo-er.
Yeah.
I have a hot take on that. The flaming hot, like all of the flame emojis. I thought the beginning of History, honestly, was giving me, like, not the whole song, just maybe the first verse, maybe not even, maybe just, like, that intro riff. I was getting some hardcore country vibes.
Really?
Like, newer country, like the arena country, as they call it, not, like, you know, Dolly Parton country. Like,
okay, yeah. Like a pop kind of.
Like this fucktard who had his concert, Chad, whatever his name is. Also, the fact that his name is Chad is also...
It's actually Chase, but...
Close enough!
We can call him Chad. I'm okay with that.
He's a fucking Chad. So, so, like, his type of music. But I really liked it. I also, for the longest time, I was like, again, anytime we listen to bands, my brain automatically goes, who do they sound like? And I sat there and I'm like, who the fuck does he sound like? And Kelly came in and saved my ass and said...
Pierre Bouvier. I really think he did. I mean, it could be because they're both Canadian. I don't know. Maybe it's like a twang.
Oh my god, I forgot!
The accent just shines through.
I forgot that Simple Plan was Canadian.
But yeah, I mean, I love this band. In or Out is probably one of my favorite songs. I can listen to that song on repeat for hours.
I mean, like, that's not that hard for you, though.
I thought they were pretty good. This was one of the first times that I actually listened to them, and I thought they were pretty good. They sound like, kind of like you were saying, Misha, a little bit more like rock, I think, than some of our more pop punky type bands, but I actually really like them. And like we were just saying, they kind of reminded me of Simple Plan a little bit, maybe because of the Canadian connection, but I really enjoyed their music and I followed them on Spotify.
So, as you know, we're gonna lather, rinse, repeat. Go listen to Story Untold on Spotify. Check them out. Our final band of the evening or afternoon, depending on what time you are listening to this, is called Rome. They have about 160,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and continuing the theme of international bands, these boys are from jolly old London. Actually, I don't know if they're from London, but they're from England. And they're not from London.
Okay,
well, they're from England, and it's just a lot easier to say London in a British accent than England. I don't know. I'm bad at accents, okay?
I would dispute that, but I'm terrible at accents too, as we all know.
Accurate. But yeah, they started in 2012, and they are currently on Hopeless Records. So, you know, like we said, you can't go wrong with a Hopeless band. They, their bio says that they take cues from Newfound Glory, Blink, Sum 41, and Simple Plan. The group's high energy...
Right up our alley.
Right?
Yeah.
The group's high energy, urgent vocals, kinetic riffs, and pogo drums resurrected the pre-screamo sounds of early pop-punk boom, much like that of All Time Low and Paramore. So
I gotta say, the people that write these bios for the bands are high-key, just so, like, they're poets. That's what they are.
They have a thesaurus sitting next to them, I'm calling it. But yeah, I really liked them. I definitely got, again, me comparing vocals. I got a Brendan Urie vibe a little bit vocally, like he has the like rasp. You know how like when the very end of words for Brendan has that like rasp. I feel like he has a very similar one. Also, they're very cute.
Oh yeah?
Like visually they're not like in an attractive way, like in a like, oh, you guys are adorable. Like, I don't know, they look like little kids.
Oh.
Like the one of the one of the music, this sounds wrong too. One of the music videos, the lead singer has like these really obscenely big like 80s nerd glasses on, and I was just like, that's adorable.
Well, I mean, it's like we said, when was it? It was like back in like episode 1 or 2. I was like, at a certain point, you stop like wanting to like date and marry the band people, and instead you're just like, oh, I want to adopt you.
Exactly.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I feel like this bio was just like spot on, because these were like all of the things I was thinking when I was listening to them. High energy and urgent vocals, I feel like really describes this band. I think they're just like very upbeat, and I feel like their songs are super easy to sing along to and fun to sing along to. So I really like that about them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I first heard Hopeless Case by them, like, back in, like, 2014, I think it was. And they were just such a different vibe of pop punk and have a really unique sound. Like, you know, that song, like, it has, like, these really echoey vocals to start out, and it just stuck out. And that opening guitar just always makes me move, whether I, like, you know, punch the air or kick out into a headbang. It makes me just, like, involuntarily mosh. You know, and I was really into them. I actually, when I went to Warped it was, I think, 2014, I saw them there. I met them, and they're really cool dudes. And they put on a great live show. And you know, they've really stepped up their game since you know, that album, The Backbone. And you know, their newer albums are great, like Playing Fiction and Left 4 Dead off of.
That album is called Great Heights and Nosedives, which is an amazing album.
That's what it is. I knew. You know, things escape me. Like, they're fantastic songs. Like, Playing Fiction, narratively amazing. Like, the lyrics, the truth it cuts like an axe to an oak tree. Pop punk poetry.
Good. Oh, yeah.
You know, and, you know, Left 4 Dead is just, like, a song that's, like, structured so cool. Like, lyrically, from, like, chorus to verse, they have like some cool transitions, and you know, it's just fast paced, and then the bridge slows and it takes you in a different direction before finishing with like high energy, kind of like, you know, how Brie was talking about with Gold Steps earlier. And I think that's a lot of what makes a good pop punk song. It's not just like all that pop punk in your face, it's like trying different things but still having that pop punk core. Well, that is all we've got, so give Rome a listen. They're fantastic. You know, all of these bands, you may have heard of them, you may have not, so I hope we, you know, expanded your musical repertoire. And you know, if you guys out there have bands that you think we would like, based on kind of the bands that we talk about, based on these bands that we've shared with you tonight, or this morning, or this evening, this afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are, follow us at the Moshpit Pod on Facebook and Instagram, and let us know which ones you'd like us to listen to. Maybe we'll talk about them in a future episode, but we'd love to talk to you guys on social media, and we're also at Moshpit Pod on Twitter. Again, we'd love to hear from you guys. We hope you enjoyed this and, you know, found some new music. Until next time, #Mosh on.